China's President Xi Jinping's daughter, who lives in the United States, along with 275,000 Chinese students, are facing visa revocations. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the United States will aggressively revoke the visas of Chinese students, particularly those that have ties with the CCP, or if they're studying in critical fields. And what many people don't know is that this policy is actually targeting students in sensitive areas like AI and semiconductors, citing national security concerns. However, critics are arguing that deterring CCP connections is complex and may lead to arbitrary decisions. And now even the Chinese government are saying that these sort of policies are discriminatory towards Chinese and any other foreign students. And the reason why all these universities are crying is because of their influx of foreign students that study at our universities. And they don't just study there, but they're bringing their money with them. So do you think the United States should move forward with revoking these visas, especially during the times that we're living in? Or do you think that this may be a mistake? Let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to hit that follow button for your daily updates.
What you're witnessing in real time is the United States dropping the ball and China picking it up.
Hong Kong will welcome any students who have been discriminated by the U.S. policy, who face difficulties to study or continue their studies in the U.S. universities.
This is exactly what the United States did before, during, and after World War II by recruiting the absolute best and brightest scientists and researchers from war-torn Europe. And then they funded them. And that move 80 years ago has been what set the United States apart by fostering huge amounts of economic growth and innovation through new technologies and advances in all fields, creating new industries, and been vital for our national security. And because those research institutions had a huge amount of academic freedom and fostered a lot of interdisciplinary research, they attracted the best and the brightest from all over the world. Y'all are so worried about China becoming a superpower, they just did. Because while we're busy worrying about how to get back to 1880, they're worrying about 2180.
Sure, you guys have seen that video of the guy from Hong Kong saying that Hong Kong is willing to take any international students from the U.S. that feel unwelcomed, persecuted, unsafe, which is honestly all of them thanks to this president. We have over 1 million international students studying in the U.S. right now. Literally smartest fucking kids in the room. You want to get an A on your group project? Go find the Chinese guy. You want to get a good study partner so that you can get an A in math? Go find the Indian guy in your class. And the president's big plan is to ban them from Harvard and send their scholarships off to some welding school in Nebraska. And while I love the idea of sending money to trade schools, I think it's important. You cannot do it at the cost of our innovation, okay? Maybe if he wasn't building a giant fucking gold dome, he could invest in all of the trade schools in America. Something like 50 to 60% of the graduate students in STEM degrees right now in the US are international. You guys like your phone? Thank them. You guys like going and getting an MRI? Thank them. You guys like that TikTok filter that gives you abs? That was probably an international student on an F1 visa. Now Hong Kong is like, hey, if the US is being weird, come on over. And if I was a student, I'd be on the first fucking flight. Guys, they have free housing. It's an international hub, and they got bomb-ass dumplings. China isn't stealing our future. We are handing it over to them on a silver platter, all because Barron couldn't get into fucking Harvard. At this point, they just need to make t-shirts for the people on the right that say, make China great again, because that's all this president is doing, and you guys are enabling him.
House Republicans want to ban Chinese from student visas so their kids can go top of the class without cheating. And they're claiming Chinese students are stealing US technology. Come on. We put everything here, not there. We don't do robbery.
Guys, if anybody had told some of these Asian Americans that someday some of their people will be facing deportation, I guess they will never want to even hear that, because during the whole campaign trail, you guys know that they had a lot of MAGAs in their midst and who voted for this current administration, not knowing that someday it will come back haunting them, right? You guys were voting and was also campaigning and talking about how his policies were better and all of that, without even having to really look at the policies and see what is in there. Even when everybody was saying it, that, you know, mass deportation is going to happen, he promised all of these things, that he was going to mass deport people, and yet none of them listened. But now their students might end up packing their loads back to their countries. Well, I'm just going to let people's videos roll, guys. Then I'll come back with my commentary. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. Credit to all creators on this video. So let's go on, then we'll come back with a commentary.
2 days ago, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the Trump administration would look into revoking Chinese student visas if they were found linked to the Chinese Communist Party or if they were working in critical fields. And this coming so soon after the administration tried to deny foreign students administration into Harvard. Not a good look. Chinese internationals are some of the smartest people I've ever worked with. And who are you going to replace them with? We in America burn books, force the Bible into our curriculums, and our Secretary of Education doesn't even know what AI is.
Okay, let's see A1 and how.
A1 steak sauce.
Also, how would you know if any Chinese students or workers have ties to the Chinese government? It just sounds like an excuse to deport anyone you want to. We are quickly becoming the very countries we've been taught to despise growing up.
Now, I need to know, is this true? Is the United States is aggressively revoking Chinese students' visas? Is it because the country has beef with Trump and those ridiculous tariffs that a federal judge blocked, or what? Wouldn't this be classified as discrimination move?
The Chinese embassy in the United States firmly opposes U.S. State Department's plan to revoke Chinese students' visas, which is a politically motivated and discriminatory action. Such a move by the U.S. side will seriously undermine the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese students in the U.S. It will also further damage the image and reputation of the U.S. itself. The Chinese embassy in the United States has lodged a solemn démarche with the U.S. side without delay, urging the U.S. government to immediately correct its mistakes and ensure the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese students. This is all undeniably true. The United States could stand to learn a thing or two from China. As the United States further falls into protectionist and isolationist foreign policy, China, on the other hand, recently added 47 countries to its visa-free access list, making it a more opening and welcoming place. While the United States focuses on competition between each other and foreign nations, China focuses on improving the lives and conditions for all of its people.
What you're witnessing in real time is the United States dropping the ball and China picking it up.
Hong Kong will welcome any students who have been discriminated by the U.S. policy, who face difficulties to study or continue their studies in the U.S. universities.
This is exactly what the United States did before, during, and after World War II by recruiting the absolute best and brightest scientists and researchers from war-torn Europe. And then they funded them. And that move 80 years ago has been what set the United States apart by fostering huge amounts of economic growth and innovation through new technologies and advances in all fields, creating new industries, and been vital for our national security. And because those research institutions had a huge amount of academic freedom and fostered a lot of interdisciplinary research, they attracted the best and the brightest from all over the world. Y'all are so worried about China becoming a superpower. They just did. Because while we're busy worrying about how to get back to 1880, they're worrying about 2180.
So multiple students at UW have woken up to the fact that their student visas have just been revoked, and they are now in the US illegally. This administration is turning students into criminals. This is so beyond fucked. Can you imagine studying in a foreign country and just waking up one day and seeing that your visa has been revoked and that you are now illegal in that country and could face huge fines and also be completely deported and maybe sent to an El Salvadorian prison? What the fuck? UW only found out about this because they just started cross-checking the visas of their international students and found out that some of them have been revoked. And they don't really know what to do about this. These students now risk deportation, and we've seen how deportations have gone. It's not fucking pretty. These are college students who have been approved to study in the United States. How is this at all justifiable? At all. Make it make sense.
Imagine students who came into the country legally, okay, they came to study, not for any other thing. They came for the purpose of studying, and all of a sudden they are going to be turning illegals in the country. People who were given student visas to travel all the way from China to the US to study might just become illegals, okay, in the country, because their visas might just wake up and their visas have been revoked. So you have to find a way to go back to the country, right? And these people, some of them might have actually studied for so long in that country. Imagine staying for your first year, second year, third year, and all of a sudden your visa is being revoked. You can no longer stay in that country legally and complete your education. That doesn't make a lot of sense, you guys. Okay. And a lot of people are speculating that it might just be because of what is happening between China and the United States, between, all of those things that are happening. People are speculating that this might just be the only issue why all of these things are happening. The tariff war that just happened, we all saw it, right? And you guys, they increase it. It was as if it was every day it gets increased. Okay, they have to increase a particular amount. This one throws their own tariffs, this one throws their own back, and all of a sudden they came back to a particular amount, I think 30% of the or that for a while. Okay, which they might come back to and have another talk. I don't know. But you guys, imagine somebody who all your family members know that you were in the US, you're studying, and all of a sudden you might just be going back to the country to start all over. Thankfully, some countries like Hong Kong are also opening their arms to accept all of the students back if you are being, your visa is being revoked or something, or you're going through any kind of intimidation or anything. They are ready to take you back if you want to. Okay. And you guys, it's really funny that all of this is happening at this present administration. I don't think it happened during Biden's, but if you did, let me know in the comments. But I'm just so shocked that all of these things are happening right now. Why is it so? Okay, why is it that is now okay that you're finding out that some people might be linked to a particular people or a particular party, and that's the reason why you want to terminate their student visas, right? Why did you give them in the first place? You wouldn't have given them. And is there no laws in place to safeguard these students or anything? Are they just going to start all over again? Because if this bill gets passed, or if this particular policy gets implemented, so many students is going to be affected. Imagine being in school all the rest of your life for like how many years you've given into reading all night, just doing all your best to make sure you pass your education and all that, and all of a sudden somebody's about to take away that one thing, which is your visa, from you, right? Somebody's about to take that away from you. It's so humbling, really, so heartbreaking, because even me, I will feel heartbroken if I have to study for a long time and I found out that I am not going to graduate because of a particular reason, okay, which was never in place or never there in the first place. Maybe if it was there, some of the students might not even have come, okay, in the first place. Maybe they would have gone to other countries that will accept them, without minding what party maybe their parents or, they are in, nobody would have, even bothered coming to the US to study and all that. And no wonder you're seeing a lot of people making videos and saying, do not come to the US right now. It's not easy. It's not this. It's not that. Cost of living is on the high side. Everybody's complaining about the cost of living in the US right now. It's so high, right? And these people have actually stayed in this country, managing the cost of living and all that, spending us that money. Some parents have to spend such amount of money just to give their kids quality education, because let us even take it home. US have a very good education system, and that's why you have a lot of people coming there to learn all of these things. And now you guys, it's going to be so heartbreaking for some parents who struggle through thick and thin to make sure that their children go to a good school, go to a good country to acquire the best education, come back to their country and get a good job. All of a sudden, all their labors is going into fruit. It's going to be so painful. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about today's video? What do you think about revoking those Chinese visas, Chinese student visas? Let me know what you think in the comments, and please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. I look forward to seeing you all on my next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys.